Hi everyone, I'm Lee. Today it is the last session of the technical session. So today I'm going to give you the information how to demonstrate the Genian NAC once we have a chance to meet your customer. Okay, let's start it. This is the first page of the admin console in the Genian NAC. Now I fill out the ID and password and click the login. It is the very first page by default of the dashboard. So you can find some information here from your corporate network. So this is your status of the network inside it. Okay, we first move to the node menu in the management. Now I click the management in the top of the menu and select the node on the list. So now you can find many devices are on the list here. And I believe that you have known about the Genian network sensor. So once you successfully deploy the network sensor start to detect all of IP-enabled devices which are attempting to the access to your company network. So these IP devices are the result from the Genian NAC network sensor. And in the node menu, you should check the several items for managing your network. So let's take a look at the one example. So please take a look at the screen. You can see an icon of the PC, which is identified as the device type. And then the blue icons here, which means that this devices has been installing the Genian NAC agent. And this device status is up now and connected by Wi-Fi. And you can also recognize its device's IP and MAC information here. So with this information, as the IT manager, you can deny or allowing these devices. I'm going to show you how you can do it. Just to check in the box and click the text IP MAC policy and select denied IP. After you're selecting, this devices is no longer access to your company network. And I wanted to highlight one thing here. So in the node menu, you can check which devices are detected by Genian NAC. Plus, you can also check its own device visibility inside thoroughly. Okay, let me give you one example. I'm click the one IP. Now you can see this device's IP and MAC information on the top. And plus, there are several tabs on the middle over here. Okay, let me check each one by one. The first one is Node tab. In the Node tab, you can check its device vulnerability. We call that CVE, which means if this devices may have its own vulnerability inside it. Because the Genian NAC DPI, Device Platform Intelligence, provided this vulnerability information. So after IT manager check its vulnerability, he can finally decide if this device should come with remediation for the security. But currently, this device has no CVE, which means there is no vulnerability from these devices. Okay, next one is the system. So please take a look at the screen. After Genian NAC detection, Genian NAC has brought its device visibility, especially hardware specification, such as motherboard specification and memory and OS information, plus USB information in the devices. Next one is the software tab. So this tab is appearing once you have installed the Genian NAC agent on the devices. So Genian NAC agent collects the information from the devices, so you can find which software have been installed in the devices. So as you can see on the screen, these devices have several Adobe software and plus the Chrome here and antivirus software information here. So with this corrected information, you can set a policy about the controlling the unauthorized software on the devices. Okay, the next one, policy status menu. So you can also double check which policy are applied to these devices from the node policy, enforcement policy, and node group. So for example, currently this device is including one of the policies in the node policy now. Okay, so far we have been learning what we can get the information from the node menu in the management. Okay, let's take a look at the next menu of the policy. So for the last 3 sessions, we spent a lot of time about the policy menu. So please just remember the first step, you should create a group in the node menu in the policy. Second, if you need a group visibility, you should create a policy in the node policy. And third, once you have decided to control the group, you should create a policy in the enforcement policy. Okay, let's take a look at the one example here. Now I'm click the node button in the policy. So please take a look at this screen. As you know, in the node menu, there are 2 types of the group you can create it. The first one is policy group, the other one is status group. And today I have already created one policy group here. The policy group name is session 4 _ global sales in HQ. So this group is defined by criteria by the IP information. So after creating this group, Genian NAC start to detect based on this criteria of the IP information. And then there is one number is appear. So one device is detected on the list. The number here means that this device is classified with this criteria. So now I'm click this number. You can also see that the specific device information, which is including this group. Okay, let's go back to the node menu again. There are also several status group here, and also there is number of devices appearing which are including this group. Okay, let's move to the node policy. I also have a set one of a policy in the node policy here. So the policy name is session 4 _ compliance _ global sales in HQ. So this policies group is the session 4 _ global sales in HQ, which was made in the node menu as the title of the policy group. So after you setting the policy in the node policy, Genian NAC start to collect the information such as password validation, OS information, hardware and software information, and window update. Genian NAC start to collect this kind of the visibility information from the devices in this group. So you can also check the number of these devices in this policy. So here is one node is the classified with this policy. Okay, let's move to the enforcement policy. I also have created one policy here. Then please take a look at the screen. The policy name is section 4 under the control the global sales in HQ. So as you can see on the screen, its policy group is this one. So this is the I have already created in the node group as title of the status group. So Genian NAC start to control and redirect some of the devices in this group if some devices has not set the password yet. Okay, so far we have been learning what kinds of policy we can create it here and the result from the policy enforcement. Okay, let's take a look at the next menu of the dashboard. So you first meet the screen of the overview by default. So this information on the overview is showing the corrected information by Genian NAC network sensor. And you can also find how many devices are accessing to your company network in the node box. And you can also identify which types of the OS they are in the platform box. Plus, you can also recognize which types of devices are connecting to your network in the node type. I'm going to move to the another tab, is the IPAM. After you have a policy for IP management in the policy menu, you can also find which IP has been against your predefined IP policy here in the tab of the IPAM. Plus, compliance. In this tab, you can see which devices or groups are violated with the compliant policy at once. So if you set this tab as your regular compliance for submitting to audit team, your work will be very definitely easy and productively. So I really wanted to recommend you, after you set the policy, the result from the policy will be shown in each of the tab, or you can create it, the dashboard, whichever you want. So you can use that based on what environment you are, and you can use it for the audit, you can use it for your reporting to outside it. So you can customize it here. Okay, take a look at the next menu. It is the log. You can see all of the devices detected by Genian NAC network sensor. So you can see all of devices log at once here. But if you wanted to see one specific device's event log, just click the filter and put the information that you know. Today, I'm going to put the IP information and click the search. And then the Genian NAC provided its devices, every event the devices has been doing. So with this log event, you can integrate it with your existing SIEM solution, SIEM, because the once abnormal behavior or malicious behavior was occurred by one certain devices, you can just fill out the information, for example, IP, MAC, or username, and then click the search Genian NAC, and then you can also analyze the devices, what was doing during the accident occurred. Okay, this is the end of the session 4. We quickly review each of the main top menu, what we can do here. So this is the end of the session 4. So now we are going to have a Q&A session. So I'm going to forward the microphone for operating the Q&A session to Donghan, who is in the Pyeongchang office now. So please wait. So we will be very back soon.
Hi guys, thank you for joining this webinar. We're a little bit sorry because this is the last session for our tech webinar. So keep watching this webinar until the end. We haven't any question regarding with this session 4 yet. So I'd like to briefly review about the question from the last session. There were 2 questions. First one is, what to do if there are nodes that unsuccessful applied the policy? How we can actually check? So if you please remember the dashboard that Yeonju just shared. So there's a tab of management. Go to the tab of management and click the IP that you want to actually check, and you can see the image on that. So go to the police status, then you can see this IP and node is applied which group and which policy. In here, there's a session 4 of compliance global sales in HQ. So this node is part of the session 4 global session in HQ node and also applied by the policy here. And you can also see the agent action compliance status. So it means this number of action is applied this IP address. The meaning you can actually check and collect those information under this agent action. This is how you can actually clarify whether your the node is properly assigned by the policy or not. And second question was what is the mechanism used to update the OS? So in Genian NAC, we are going to actually check the Windows OS patch and the Microsoft Office. So I'm going to just explain about online-based the Windows OS patch as an example. So there is our server on the IDC. So this server is communicate with the MS Office if there's the latest version of the Windows patch. So if there are, it downloaded the latest patch to it, and the server in the IDC tried to communicate with each police server that deployed on each customer site. And if there's no, it updates the latest version. So it depends on the policy, and the agent is actually checked whether the PC has the latest version of the OS update. If not, it downloaded and update the latest version. So this is how actually we can actually support the Windows OS patch compliant. Okay, so let me check again if there is another question from your side. I guess there's no more questions still. So it is okay. So we still have a little more time. So please remind any question in the group chatting room. So since we don't have a question now, so I'm going to hand over to the mic to the Yeonju. Okay, thank you for keep watching this session. We hope to see you. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm back here. So I wanted to share the one screen. Can you see the screen of the survey? So we highly appreciated that you have joined this webinar for 4 weeks. So I found that some of the partners joining this session every week for 4 weeks until today. So I highly appreciate it. So before closing, I wanted to ask you, so please leave the survey because we need your honest and straightforward opinion about this session. So in the chat room, there is the direct link about the survey for the webinar season 2. So after we check that, we will be back with a new webinar, including your feedback. And the second one, I wanted to promote our Genian's YouTube channel. So you can just access to the YouTube and just put the keyword Genian company name on the top. So you can find that our technical session, previous technical session video up there. You can also watch it again, enjoy it again. So, and also I'm going to upload this current session within this week. So please watching and also thumbs up and like it. We hope that you do it. And by the way, so thank you so much. Thank you for watching and thank you for joining this webinar for 4 weeks. So I promise you we will be back soon with a new program again. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye.